All right, guys, what is going on? My name is Pipe Bomb City, and welcome to my NXT Takeover, the end of the beginning review, guys. I haven't done an NXT review since NXT Takeover Dallas, so I'm really looking forward to talking about this. I did miss some of the parts. I missed most of the women's match, actually, and I missed, apparently there was like a William Regal backstage segment with Bobby Roode. I missed that too, but everything else on this pay-per-view, I got, so I'm going to be talking a bit about that. This is going to be one of my longest reviews. Because, NXT, it usually is shorter and there is less, and it's short and sweet to the point with NXT compared to the main roster. So before this video begins, be sure to check out my Instagram at instagram.com/pipebombcity. We recently hit 4,000 followers. Thank you guys so very much for that. Let's try and hit 5,000 by the end of June 24th, because that's going to be my 1-year anniversary on Instagram. Also, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment on this video. I'm going to try and get either today or tomorrow. I've been working on this animation video. I've been doing, I haven't made one of my little animation things in about 2 weeks. So I've been working on this one for a few days now. I kind of just, and the reason it's taking so long is because I've gone from piece to piece to piece to piece small. When I did the other ones, it was like I got it done in one day. But lately I've been getting back into things. Summer just started and I'm jumping already back into shit, So yeah, getting into this though, NXT Takeover. Again, NXT does not disappoint. It was fucking amazing. We kicked off the night with the debut of, I don't even know how to fucking say his name, Andrade Cien Almas, all right? I never really heard of this guy, The fucking thing that he was wearing to the ring, I hated it. I don't understand the gimmick, all right? I really don't. Maybe it's something that I'm not getting, but it was pretty much just this guy who used to, I understand that he used to be a luchador with a mask, and now he's not, and he took it off, and blah, blah, blah. And I guess that's it, that's what I've seen from all the promos that he's had. He had a mask, and now it's off, I guess, and he watches movies. I don't know, but his fucking theme song is awesome, though, so that shit's awesome. But, and he's really good in the ring, too. Him and Ty Dillinger, in case you do not know, Ty Dillinger, I can't even say his fucking name. Ty Dillinger posted something on Twitter. He was like asking William Regal, all right, I need you to give me a chance, all right? And see, the difference the difference between Tyler Breeze and Ty Dillinger is that Tyler Breeze, I can't stand Tyler Breeze. I fucking hate that guy. It's just a gimmick that's been done so much before that I really can't grab onto it, and all this shit. It's everything I hate about the generation. He's just walking around and he's got this selfie stick, and hope you enjoy my impression. It's a good turn on. Anyways, so the difference between that and Ty Dillinger, this is something new. He's the perfect 10. I love his fucking song. Oh my God, it's amazing. And he's so good in the ring. He doesn't walk around with all that shit on his boots like Breeze. And I feel like they're so different. And yet they're being compared to a lot. I think Ty Dillinger, once he gets to the main roster, I feel like he could be the next Miz. And that depends on how you look at it, if that's a good thing or a bad thing. The Miz has done so much in his career. He's a Grand Slam champion. He's won every single current title. Tag team champ, US champ, Intercontinental, WWE, World. He's done all of it, But looking at this now, I think he could be a very similar gimmick to the Miz. And I think that it could be great, if Vince uses him right. I mean, right now he's pretty much a jobber. He kind of took Breeze's place since he went out, which I don't like at all, because I fucking love this guy. He's a great worker. I love the gimmick, This was a great-ass match, Almas won, though, which I know that they're never going to let anyone lose their debut. And if they do, it just gives bad impressions, So I can understand why everyone needs to win their debut match, because usually in NXT, all these indie guys, they come and they debut at a special, and that's just how it is. I just prefer if Dillinger got a win, though. I'm happy if, he becomes relevant in NXT, though. I've not been watching NXT a lot. I've not watched it in many months. Of course, I watch all the specials, but, it's not something I watch every Wednesday. But getting into this, though, all right. Also, I must mention, this is the end, okay? This was the name of the pay-per-view. At first, it was just NXT Takeover. Then it was NXT Takeover the end, and then it was turned to, I mean, the day of, like NXT Takeover the end of the beginning. So they kept changing that shit. You know, you could see in the logo they have the fucking dots. You know, like to be continued and shit. You know, it's so. I mean, it's just I don't understand it. This was just like the end of something. You know, obviously maybe NXT is gonna have something to do with the SmackDown and Raw brand split. You know, because it was announced that, and I think it's August 20th, 2016, NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 2 is going to be happening. And Jesus Christ, that's amazing. You know, the first one kicked ass. It's my favorite NXT special ever. You know, it's amazing. I love it. And it's coming back to Brooklyn, you know, and it's got all this new talent compared to last year. So I'm really looking forward to that. Speaking of new talent, the tag team title match, all right, we had these new guys come out. I've heard a lot about them. The Authors of Pain. I think they're being called the Office of Pain, which it's all right. I mean, a lot of people think it's cool, so all right, I'll roll with it, you know. And then there's this guy here. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. The crowd was chanting, "Who are you?" And I mean, I had to agree. You know, I'm not gonna lie to you guys and say I know everything about WWE and its history and shit. I'd like to say that I know a lot about like the current era and stuff. I started watching a few years ago, you know, and I know current history. I know a lot of stuff from 2008 and onwards, but I mean, of course I knew who this guy was. You know, I knew that he managed the Road Warriors, and I knew that he was like a badass manager, and he was amazing. Um, you know, he was a former weightlifter too. I heard of that. But the problem I have though is that I couldn't remember off the top of my head who this guy was. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful or sound like a shithead, but I mean, I don't know. You know, from what I've heard, he's badass and he kicks ass. Paul Ellering, I think I'm saying his name right. You know, and he's the new manager for this new team. I think it's the Office now, the Office of Pain. I think Triple H said the Office of Pain. These fucking monsters came in the ring after American Alpha lost their tag team titles. I'll get into that in a second. And pretty much then these fucking guys come out. They kick American Alpha's ass, all right, after a phenomenal match. I fucking loved their match. I thought it was such an underrated match, what they had to TakeOver Dallas, these guys. And not a lot people said it was like the worst match on the card. I thought it was like the best. It was fucking amazing, right next to Zayn and Nakamura. Denver's Dash and Dawson 1 was fucking amazing, you know, and here we are 2. The spot, oh my god, just so many spots, you know, it was fucking amazing. The double ankle lock was one of my favorite moments of the match. It was fucking amazing, you know. These guys though, again, they beat the shit out of them. Getting into that, they lost the titles, all right. Obviously American Alpha is probably going to stay in NXT maybe for a while now. I feel like since they lost the titles, it shows me 2 things. It shows that 1, Dash and Dawson are going to be staying in NXT for a while longer, you know, since they have the titles now, 2-time champs, feel the power. And number 2, because maybe this shows that American Alpha is going to go up. They might have a little feud with these guys, the Office of Pain, and then they could go up to the main roster with the brand split and shit. I think Jordan and Gable, American Alpha, that'd be such a great team to bring up, you know, them. Maybe Blake and Murphy, you know, they're not doing much in NXT right now. They could bring them up. Alexa Bliss, that'd be a great woman to bring up, you know, since we're not talking about women actually going in the draft from NXT. So I think that'd be a great pick too. I think it's just all good, you know. So American Alpha, I can't wait if they can go up. If they're going to stay in NXT longer, I don't give a shit because these guys are amazing, you know. I hope Vince uses them right because they're such a good talent. I love the gimmick. I love the gimmick so much. And you know what? It's just, some people say it's an average gimmick and it's been done 100 times before. I don't care. I love Kurt Angle's gimmick. I love him so much, you know, and I love these guys too. I love the only American gimmick I could say off the top of my head I hate is Jack Swagger. I feel like it was just done horribly. And here's these guys, 2 former Olympic wrestlers. They did bad there, and then they came to the NXT, and they won the titles, and it was just such a great story. I'm fine that they lost the titles. I'm not really upset. You know, they had a great reign. You know, you could say what you want, that it was only a few months, but I mean, I don't give a shit. You know, they were beating everybody and they did it good. You know, I love these guys. And Dash and Dawson, I love these guys too. They're going to be a great team. The first ever NXT tag team in history to win the tag team titles twice. So good for them. And not much to say. I mean, you just got to wait for the future now. You know, other than that, not much. Shinsuke Nakamura defeated Austin Aries. This was the match of the night for me. This was fucking, I mean, I loved Samoa Joe versus Finn Balor. I loved the NXT Tag Team title match. I thought what I saw, the women's match was all right. The opening match, the debut of CN was fucking amazing, you know, but this was just pure wrestling in this fucking match. Any friend that I have that says, "Oh, pro wrestling is shit and it's fake," and blah 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 blah, anything, I would just show them this, because this was just a pure beauty. This reminded me so much, for some reason, of Zayn and Nakamura at Dallas. I don't know why. Hint, hint. But I just fucking loved it. You know, it was amazing. It was a hard-hitting match. Logic kind of played a role here because, you know, if Aries abdominal range, I don't know what the fuck the tape was about. You know, I don't watch NXT regularly, like I said. I only watch the specials. So the logic kind of broke. If that was really in pain and all that shit, why was he doing all these insane-ass moves? So logic breaks kayfabe a little bit. But that's just me thinking like me. I'm a fucking faggot. But this match, so, oh my God. It was brutal, hard-hitted. Nakamura won. I can't say anything other than that. Nakamura is going to be the next NXT champion. I'd be happy as hell if he either debuts on the main roster or takes that title away from Joe. I don't give a shit either way, but the future is right for this guy. I was kind of hoping, part of me was hoping that Aries was going to pull out the underdog win. That's fine that he didn't. You know, he's going to be one of the faces of NXT. He is fucking right now, you know. Getting into the women's match, as I said, I didn't really watch most of it. I hate this so much. When the fucking network, anyone that has it knows, at the worst times, you know, and then the pay-per-views and shit, it's happened to me so much. I don't know if it's just me or this is just the network, but the connection just turns on and off and on and off. So when it was turning on, I turned off like 6 times, you know, on and off in about 5 minutes, you know. So I just said, all right, well, I'm going to just leave it off for a few minutes and then see what happens. So I turned it back on. Women's match is already over. So, I mean, I saw like a minute of the end, you know. So I'm not going to stay here and I'm not going to act like a bitch, like I saw everything and that I know everything. That is completely false. So Asuka wins. Not much I can say. I heard that Nia Jax did not do so good in this, you know, but that's just what I heard, you know. So getting into the main event now. NXT champion Samoa Joe defeats Finn Balor. You know what? For this, it's weird because I would rather talk more about just stuff about Joe, the steel cage, and Balor instead of the actual match. All I'm going to say about the match, it was fucking amazing. I love the match. Let's talk about all those 3 things. First, let's start with the steel cage. The first ever NXT steel cage match. Amazing. It was fucking great. You know, it was pretty much the theme of the pay-per-view. Oh my God, though. The cage being lowered to the ring. I wish the main roster did that because that was fucking amazing. You know, I don't get why the main roster doesn't do that stuff because that was so badass and I loved it. I don't get why the main roster doesn't do it, but it was cool. You know, I really liked it. And it was a great first ever steel cage match, you know. So we had first ever 2-time NXT tag team champs and we had the first ever steel cage match. You know, we had great matches. The debut of CN, the return of Paul Ellering, you know, Shinsuke Nakamura, the new NXT #1 contender, pretty much for the main title. So a lot of stuff happened here today, you know. But getting into this now, Samoa Joe, the future is great for this guy. Because now he's the champ, him and Nakamura, this is literally a dream match, you know, Samoa Joe versus Shinsuke Nakamura. This is a dream match, and I can't wait to see what these guys are going to do. I would love for that to be the headliner for NXT TakeOver Dallas 2, August 20th, 2016. Samoa Joe versus Shinsuke Nakamura. That would be amazing, you know. Getting into what I'm going to be talking about here, Finn Balor now. What I noticed, I believe his last ever IG or NJ, oh my God, it's a tongue twister. And okay, New Japan Pro Wrestling. Not even going to say the letters. All right, this fucking, I don't give a shit. All right, New Japan Pro Wrestling. I think his final match there, I think, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that he wore black and white paint, you know, on his body for his last match. I believe there. And I found it real funny how here it is, NXT Takeover, the end. Finn Balor is wearing this black and white attire. He's never done it before. And we got, you know, the brand split coming up, and we had the Money in the Bank open spot magically disappear. So it kind of brings the question, you know, well, shit, maybe this is what's going to be hit in Balor's future. You know, maybe he could be part of the main roster now. You know, he lost to Joe clean. He wore this black and white paint. And part of me says, all right, Balor's going to the main roster. Everyone's been thinking about it for a while. And usually the kind of stuff similar to, you know, oh, Balor's going to go to the main roster. We said that about, you know, like Triple H returning, AJ Styles debuting, all this shit, you know, Cena returning, the brand split. We've been talking about that stuff months prior or weeks prior, whichever one you want to talk about, and we ended up getting them right. So maybe Balor coming to the main roster is going to be next on that list of things that we fucking called. All right. Maybe that's not going to happen. I don't know, but I would love to see it. And again, great performance by everybody here last night. It was amazing. Thank you guys so very much for watching this NXT Takeover, the end of the beginning review. Thank you guys so very much. This has been Pipe Bomb City. I'm going to upload a video right after this or tomorrow, depending on whatever happens, you know. I'll try and get the animation out. I already have all the pictures uploaded. I finished them all. All I have to do is make the script and record the audio, and then I have to edit it together, and that'll take however long, you know, it just depends. So I'll either have that animation video up next in an hour, or maybe less, or maybe more, I don't know, or I'll have it tomorrow. We'll just have to wait and see. Thank you guys so very much for watching. Be sure to check my Instagram at instagram.com/pipebombcity. Be sure to subscribe, like, and comment on this video. Thank you guys so very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.